Hi guys, it's Michael. I'm here to do a video on how I edit my photos for Instagram. I've gotten so many requests about it, so I thought I'd do a little video to show you guys the apps that I use and the phone that I use. So the camera that I use is my iPhone. I don't have a fancy camera, I just use my iPhone. I've been using it ever since I've had my Instagram, and each photo that you see on there is taken with my iPhone. Currently, I'm using the iPhone 7 Plus. I use two apps. They're both free and it's in the App Store. No purchase necessary. You just can download the VSCO app or the Snapseed app. The VSCO app is more of a filtration app that I just apply to. There are filters that are more moody, but there's also different packages that you guys can purchase. There's some ranging from $2 to $5 to $10, depending on what you guys want, but there is a base package as well that you can use and utilize from. So, the VSCO app, let me pull it up. Go ahead and select the photo you'd like, and then hit the tab down here, and it'll open up all the filters that you want to pick from. And the one that I love, like I said, is the S2. Here we go, S2. So hit save here, and then go ahead and save that to the camera roll, just like that. And then go back to the home screen, go to Snapseed, and then tap anywhere to open the photo. You hit there, open latest image, and it'll bring that up. Right here is when it gets intense, you guys. You're gonna hit the tools button right there, and it'll bring up all these little buttons and tabs. The ones that I use the most is tune image, details, healing, and selective. The first thing we get started here for me is the details, and that'll bring up the structure or sharpening. So you can hit scroll up and down and choose which one you like. I rarely use sharpening, so I usually use structure a whole lot more. And structure, I feel, brings out the fine details of the food. Whether it's the burgers or fries, it'll bring it out and really make it pop. I normally add about 30 to 40 depending, and it just depends on the photo and how I feel. And you can actually push and hold the screen and it'll show a before and after of the photo. Once you're done and you like the structure setting that you want to pick, you hit the check button down below. And the next step that I use is the tune image. Tune image is a lot more intense. It has a lot more options if you scroll up and down. So you can hit brightness, contrast, saturation, ambience, highlights, shadows, and warmth. So the first thing that I normally do is brightness. I'll normally add about 10, maybe 15, depending on the lighting of the photo. And the next thing I'll use is ambience. I like to add a little bit of that. Depending on the time of day, if it's too warm, meaning yellow, I will decrease it. If it's a little blue and I want to add more yellow, a little more warmth, I just go right and add more. And that's pretty much it. I really don't touch shadows, highlights, or contrasts. Sometimes I'll do saturation if I feel the colors are a little dull, but for me, I feel like the colors are perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the check mark down here, and we'll move on to the next step. So the next step that I wanna choose is the healing. Now this is the fun part for me, is because I get to remove all these little things on the floor, whether it looks like gum or maybe bird droppings, who knows? You can actually remove all that with the healing tab. So you can actually zoom in, you can go like that and zoom in, or a better way to do it for me is this, double tap, and you can zoom out a little bit, and you can just remove it, just like that. And the healing tab does take a little time to getting used to, just because it is a little more advanced tool to use, but when you figure out how to use it, it is the best thing ever, and you can remove every single little details of the photo. And this is just a personal preference, guys. You guys can leave it there if you like it. I'm particularly not fond of it, so I want to remove it all. And let me just add here that if you guys feel like you made a mistake on the photo with the healing button, you can actually hit the back button. So let me show you an example. If I accidentally swiped here and it makes this weird streaking right here, you can hit the back button here and it'll reverse that. So let me show you again here and here. If you don't like it, hit back button and again, and there you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to remove all these little dots that I'm not a big fan of. And it just, for me, I just want a more cleaner look, a cleaner photo. Cool. And the last thing that I do is selective. So the selective tab is where you wanna focus on a particular part of the photo, like here. I'm be focusing on my hand, and you can actually minimize to how little or how much you wanna focus on. And this is the part where you can add more brightness, contrast, saturation, or structure. And for me, I feel like there's too much structure in my hand, and I'll show you guys in a minute what it looks like if I decrease the structuring. So let's go ahead and go all the way back, and you'll see that, my hand actually appears more smooth than wrinkly, and there's like all these lines everywhere, and it helps make it look more smooth. I think for me it looks too smooth, so I'm just gonna add a little more structure, just a little bit, maybe halfway, so it looks like I have a nice hand. And the cool thing is, so for this part right here, if I feel like the fries are too yellow and I don't want to decrease saturation for the whole entire photo, hit selective, hit the area you want, whether you want the whole part here or just a little bit. For me, if I feel like the fries are too yellow, go to saturation and you can decrease the yellow or add more. So once all that is said and done, this to me looks like a great photo. I like it. I like everything that I've done here. And if you want to see the before and after, all you have to do, like I said, is hit the screen, hold and tap, and you'll see before and after. And the next thing you do is you can save the photo, which means the original state that it came in, it'll overwrite it and save it as this new edit. Or if you hit export, which is what I normally do, it saves it as a separate photo that we just edited. And then you're done. So now let's bring up Pi-hole. We're gonna start with the first option here, which is the details. I like to add more structure, like I said, right about there. Add a little more brightness. I feel like the colors are a little dull in this photo, so I'm gonna add more saturation. And then maybe more ambience. The saturation, I feel, definitely makes the photo pop a little more, add a little bit more warmth. And there we go. Next step, healing. Healing for this one is very, very cool because there's this chair that happens to be in this photo and you can actually remove it as if it was never there to begin with. So let me show you how. Ta-da, and that's that. And for me, I'm not a big fan of these dots over here, so I'm just gonna zoom in on that. There was like this graffiti like art thing going on that was happening on the floor, so I'm just gonna remove all that as best as I can. The healing tab is definitely more of an advanced thing. So after all that, I don't like how the floor is very, very grainy looking, so I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit. So I'm gonna add more brightness to the sleeve. I feel like it's a little bit dull. Add a little bit saturation just to have a little pop of color. And I do want to say that I just noticed that the ice cream, I want to brighten that up a little bit. Let's take a look here. And brighten it there. I also know this sounds a little funny, but I want this Pi-hole logo in the background to really pop out at me. Increase brightness and increase saturation so people can really make it pop. All right, so I'm actually really happy with this photo. I like the overall look, how it appears to me. So let's go ahead and show you guys a before and after of how this looks. Big difference. As you guys can see, the chair is completely gone, as well as the sign in the background for Pi-hole being brightened up. You can look here at the sleeve is definitely enhanced a lot more. The floor, the graffiti art on the floor is gone, as well as that line. And you can look at the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Those ones are popping at you a lot more than before. And then go ahead and export if you're happy. Like I said, save overwrites the original state that the photo came in. Otherwise, if you don't want that to happen, you can just create a separate photo and then just hit export there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed all the tips and tricks I gave and to help you guys become better food Instagrammers. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I'll be posting more videos about how I'll be taking photos of ice cream, coffee, sandwiches, burgers, fries, you guys name it. I'll be posting more of that. And definitely comment, like, keep showing love because you guys are so awesome. And until next time, guys, see you then. Bye.